Okay, I've been continuing working on the pathways and straightening everything out and making everything even, and then pulling in the lights on the edges of the pathways so they're more aligned with where the pathway actually starts and finishes, essentially. So they're not like way over here in the grass, basically. So where possible, I made it like decently flat because some areas are kind of hilly. Like over here, there's a bit more to it, but and it needs to be smoothed more. But I was just trying to get some of the shapes down. Yeah, this area is a little trickier, so I need to come back to this one. But like over here, I got that nice and flat. And then over here, I still maintain the hills, but I tried to keep the ends fairly even. And where there are little slopes, those are still maintained to give the terrain sort of an interesting, like the pathways are a little more interesting that way. So this area I brought in a little bit like with the grass, and since the texturing stuff is going to be changing with Unity 5, I wasn't too worried about where the grass texture starts and ends. I was just more placing the grass so I know for later in case we have to repaint things. The level's a little laggy, but okay, but I just pulled that in, flattened stuff out, and then dotted it with a couple more lights. And then back to the main pathway. So where a lot of this before was like higher up on one side, it's all been flattened out now. So it's more a case of looking at what's not wrong rather than seeing major visible changes. And over here is the same deal, where you can see these two pathways. One is a lot higher up than the other because this whole area is kind of sloping down, but I tried to make them pretty stable. So I left this one a little more rugged because it's kind of off in a forest. So I think the way it looks is a little more suited to the surroundings. Oops, I need to pull that in, but I'm going to do that right after. So different areas get different treatments. The main roads I'm trying to make a lot more stable. Like this one is nice and smooth. But we've still maintained some of these hills too. So I need to clean up this side because a lot of it looked like this before. So I need to just go over this small area really fast. But I started going over this side instead. So for like right here, for example, oops, I would prefer to just start putting more grass right here or like a rock texture or something, and then just like tuck the pathway in here. But over here I straightened it out quite a bit. It's really laggy. Okay, but added more bushes and more foliage stuff here to sort of illustrate, like, because the path went all the way over here and it just looked way too wide, and over here as well. Oh. Okay, but now it's been pulled in quite a bit. Okay, so that is roughly this. Oops. Oops, oops. Oh my gosh. Okay. Roughly this half is done. So I'm going to try to wrap up. There's actually a little bit less pathways over on this side, so this should be faster. And then moving on to like thinning out the vegetation and replacing old buildings.